Good evening to all. Today we are going to discuss one-dimensional and three-dimensional heat transfer using finite element analysis. Today's second day. In second day today we are going to discuss only for heat transfer analysis. With heat transfer analysis, how we are going to simulate any heat transfer application with using ANSYS software. Okay. Now before that, we should know what are the concept in heat transfer. Actually, this fundamental concept we know three different types of modes of heat transfer. One is the conduction, another one is the convection, another radiation. This is the three modes of heat transfer. Generally, these three we are going to discuss in simulation itself. Now, the simple fundamental we should know. After that, we are going to see the simulation. Before knowing any fundamental concept, learning of finite element analysis that is not useful. That's why on some simple introduction I'm going to discuss before going to do the simulation. What is meant by conduction and convection radiation? See, this is one handle is there, and here one heater is there, another heater. We are going to heat inside some water. Let assume water is there, some quantity of fluid is there. Here the total is container some metal as a container. While heating it, automatically heat is going to transfer. First it's going to absorb the container. After that, inside whatever the fluid is there, the fluid is going to absorb. From layer by layer, it's going to transfer the heat. Now here let's see whatever the molecules, container molecule, whatever the container molecule, either steel or maybe cast iron, whatever the metal, some steel, let us assume steel is going to absorb the absorb the heat. When absorbing heat of first layer is transferred to second layer, third layer, like this, heat is going to transfer like this. Heat is going to transfer. That means whatever the molecules of steel molecules, first is going to absorb the heat. It must be transferred from high temperature to lower temperature only. No, automatically here high temperature is there. Compared to here in top portion, compared to lower portion, high temperature, no, automatically heat is going to transfer. That is whatever the molecules of container steel molecule first is going to absorb, it transfer one place to other place. Like this, the heat transfer rate is there, we are going to call as a conduction. That means simple whichever the heat is transferred through solid molecules, these are also container is the solid molecules only, no, through solid molecule, wherever the heat is transferring, we are calling as a conduction. Next one is the convection. Convection means you are applying a heat here. You are applying heat here. This heat first is going to conduct this container. After that, the heat is transferred to the liquid or maybe any fluid is going to transfer. Automatically, the liquid of from bottom to top layer also slowly it will rise the temperature. That means heat is transferring in liquid also. No, wherever the whichever the heat is transferred through fluids, we are going to call as a convection. Now, what about the radiation? Radiation means the outside. This is the radiation effect. Now here we are going to discuss only for conduction and convection as per this one dimensional application point of view. If next we are going to see that is the conduction, the principle, what is meant by conduction, where whichever the heat is transferred through solid molecule, we are calling as a conduction. That is a kinetic energy of transfer, the area of higher kinetic energy transfer to thermal energy toward the lower kinetic energy area. That means the heat, it must be transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature. That is the main concept of conduction. Next is convection. If you are going to see the conduction, what is the principle of conduction? Conduction as a mathematical principle, heat, it must be, heat is directly proportional to Let's check it out. Heat is, this is Q. Q as a heat. Heat is directly proportional to change in temperature. Heat is inversely proportional to thickness of the member. Dx is the thickness of this. Suppose this is a small molecule, the solid molecule, steel molecule, if you are going to consider, dx is the small elemental length of the molecule. Now the small elemental length of the molecule dx we consider. That means heat is inversely proportional to the thickness of the member. Heat is directly proportional to change in temperature. Change in temperature means outside atmospheric temperature already we have 30 degrees. Whatever we are applying a temperature, some 60 or 80 degrees centigrade, the difference of temperature only change in temperature, that is the heat is directly proportional to change in temperature, and heat is inversely proportional to the thickness of the member, and heat is directly proportional to area of the member also. As per these statements, they describe as a Fourier's law of heat conduction. The Fourier scientists, they described as per these three statements. First statement, heat is directly proportional to the area of the member or component. Heat is inversely proportional to thickness of the member. If a thickness of the member is increases, automatic heat transfer rate is decreases. Now why? Because the occupation of molecules, it's more, absorbing of energy is less. That says heat is inversely proportional to thickness of the member dx. Heat is directly proportional to the area of the member. Heat is directly proportional to the change in temperature. Now change in temperature, as per this statement, these statement, Fourier's law statements, we converted as a mathematical form. Q equal to k into dt by dx. dt by, here a is one per unit area, we consider per unit area. That's why here they didn't mention any area. That's why q equal to k into dt by, the k is the constant value. Why? Because different material, different heat transfer rate. No, suppose take a one a good example, one wood, we are going to consider one wood and another one metal. Wood and metal, same temperature, if you are going to apply same temperature, but wood area and steel area, same area, if you are going to consider wood area and same steel area. Now apply the same temperature. Here area is same, applying of a temperature same, and thickness of the everything is same, but conductivity of heat is different. Why we are getting a conductivity of heat different? That is the molecule property is different. Depends upon the molecular property, the heat transfer rate different you will get, different you will get. That's why as per different material, different heat transfer rate we are getting, we are going to take a one constant value. Whatever the before we discussed last yesterday class, stress is directly proportional to strain. The stress equal to Young's modulus into strain. The Young's modulus value, one constant value we consider. Why? Because the material different. If a same wood and metal, same, you physically you are applying a same load 100 newton 100 newton, the deformation value you are getting a different value, but you are taking a same area, same load, but you are getting a different deformation. What is the reason? The reason is the property of material is different. That's why we are taking one constant value in Young's modulus in structural problem. In thermal problem point of view, we are going to take another one, E replace as a K. K is the thermal conductivity. K is the thermal conductivity. The units is watt per meter Kelvin. Okay. Now, as for this four statement, you will get a units watt per meter Kelvin. Q is directly proportional to change in temperature. Q is inversely proportional to thickness of the member. Q is directly proportional to area of the member. Area of the member. Now, this is the small statement in a finite element. If you let's come to the finite element method, we are going to see the finite element method as a thermal point of view. Property here we are taking a property is the conduction. Before we can in strength of material, yesterday class we consider as a elastic, no, Young's modulus. Here we are taking a thermal conductivity and behavior, whatever the behavior displacement, no, here we are taking as the temperature, and action, whatever the final output we are going to get, that output is heat source. But in structural problem, force as a output. As per this, we are going to take now F is replaced as a heat. Q equal to K into T. That is the finite element equation in thermal analysis. For structural analysis, F equal to K into U. U as the displacement, but here is temperature is a function, but their function is behavior as a function. Their field variable is force as a field variable, but here thermal analysis, heat as a field variable. Okay, heat as a field variable. As for this, we are going to simulate as a thermal analysis. Now let's come the finite element analysis steps. Here mainly three steps. Whatever the before we discussed yesterday class, same procedure is same, but the notation and methodology is some different. Now here, see the preprocessor. What is a preprocessor? What do you mean by preprocessor? Preprocess is input. What are the inputs required? First input, what is the first input? First input is only for geometry, perfect geometry. And the second input is what type of element you are going to consider, either line element or triangular element or rectangular element. That depends upon the problem, one dimensional problem, two dimensional problem, three dimensional. One dimensional problem point of view we are going to consider as a line element. Two dimensional problem point of view you are going to take a either triangular element and a rectangular element. With three dimension hexahedral element, tetrahedral element we are going to take. That is the second step. Second step in preprocessor is element type. Now third step is material property. That also input on know that most important material. Where steel, we are going to simulate as a steel, as a thermal the heat transfer rate we are going to calculate. For that point of view, what is the steel thermal conductivity? What that value we must give perfect. After that only the software is going to think. Software is not a human person. Software, whatever the input we are going to give, as per the input only it will give output. But input, whatever the values we are going to give, input value is wrong values, output value also you will get a wrong value, but it will solve the problem. Okay, now that means input parameter is the most important thing. Finally, input parameter is the most important. Now what are the preprocessor? Preprocessor is the input. First is the geometry, next is the material properties, next is the type of element, and boundary condition. Final fourth step is in preprocessor, boundary condition. Boundary condition means anything you are going to apply the force, or maybe you are going to apply the temperature, or maybe you are going to apply the heat transfer rate, or maybe you are going to apply the convection, or maybe you are going to apply the radiation. Like this you are going to give the input value, some input value. Okay, now after giving the input value, preprocessor, you are going to take a process means solving. It's going to solve like a mathematically, it's going to solve as a whatever the elements you are going to take, as per the element it's going to convert as a polynomial equation. That polynomial number of polynomial equation, that it depends upon the nodes and element number of polynomial equation, automatically it will generate. That polynomial equation is converted as a matrix form. Finally the matrix F equal to K into T, it's going to write F means Q equal to K into T form. It's going to write it, and whatever as per the input, the output values we are going to collect. That is the process. Now it's going to solve the results. Now after getting a results, we are going to see a graphically GUI, graphical user interface. We are going to see as a graphical, as a color wise, or maybe any notation wise, notation symbol wise, we are going to see in post processing results. That is the third step. Third step is the post processing results. Now this is a simple described selection types of analysis. Now here thermal analysis, we are going to see only for thermal analysis, steady state thermal analysis, transient thermal analysis. Steady state means if the time is constant, if the time it's going to vary, automatic temperature is going to vary, we are going to take a transient analysis. If the time it's going to vary, the temperature is constant, we are going to take a steady state thermal analysis. Now these two we are going to see. Next, to select the element type. What type of element? Maybe one dimensional element. Here one dimensional element point of view, line element we are going to take. As a two dimensional element problem point of view, we are going to see the rectangle or square type of element. Generally we are taking a linear type of equation only. We are not going to see quadratic equation. We are going to see the linear elements only. We are going to, these are all linear elements only. Material properties. Here material property, thermal conductivity we are going to take. Here I didn't note it here. Thermal conductivity we are going to see, and the temperature also we are going to give the input parameters. Now next one is the make nodes. After giving these inputs, we are going to create a geometry. First, for creating geometry purpose, we are going to generate a nodes. After generating nodes, we are going to joining of these are all nodes with the proper direction. That most important. And after generating these lines, now we are going to apply the boundary condition. Now here they apply the force, and here where they constrain some two position, they constraints all degree of freedom. This symbol meaning is all degree of freedom, it's constrained. Now the process, after giving input, is going to process. The stiffness matrix is going to solve. Q equal to K into T form, it's going to solve. After solving this, you will get a post processing results. Now you are going to see the results: displacement, stress, strain. Here we are going to see temperature and heat transfer rate. We are going to see in thermal analysis. Now here one simple example we are going to see. Now here a furnace wall is made of 3 layers. Now here 3 layers are there. 3 layer means 3 walls. Let us assume 3 walls is there. The inside layer of thermal conductivity, this inside layer of thermal conductivity 8.5 watt per meter Kelvin. The middle layer is 0.25 watt per meter Kelvin. Outer layer is 0.08 watt per meter Kelvin. This thermal conductivity clearly given. That means metal, different metals are there. Now here thickness of the inner and middle outer layer also clearly given. 25 centimeter, 5 centimeter, 3 centimeter, only thickness. Here thickness and thermal conductivity we are going to assume as a 1 meter square here as per this problem. Now atmospheric air, see here clearly given, the inside temperature of wall is 600 degrees centigrade. Inside temperature means here the first inner layer. Inner layer some temperature is 600 degrees. They are applying 600 degrees centigrade at the left side. Okay, outside of the wall exposed to atmospheric air. Outside of the wall exposed to atmospheric air. Outside here only, no, outside of the wall is exposing whatever the temperature. We don't know the temperature, how much temperature is coming here. The temperature exposed to atmosphere. Atmosphere already 30 degrees is there. Is exposing to atmosphere. As per second law of thermodynamics, heat it must be transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature. As per this statement, whatever the 30 degrees, above 30 degrees you are getting. This is the exact statement meaning. Outside temperature of wall exposed to atmospheric air are 30 degrees. That means compared to outside temperature, here higher temperature is there outside of the wall. Now that air heat transfer coefficient H value 45 watt per meter square Kelvin also given. Fluid heat transfer, that is the convection. Different fluid, different H value we know. Now here air or some fluid is moving here. That air convection coefficient clearly given 45 watt per meter square Kelvin. Now here we are going to calculate nodal temperature. Nodal temperature means here we know node 1 temperature 600 already we know. Node 2, node 3, node 4. These 3 temperatures we are going to find out as using a ANSYS software. Now these are all the input. Now theoretically how we are going to calculate? As per Fourier's law of heat conduction, heat is directly proportional to change in temperature. Heat is inversely proportional to thickness of the member. No, thickness of the member. No, here resistance R equal to L by Ka only. No, L by Ka. Now as per the Fourier's law statement, they calculated like this. They got Q equal to 909.62, and meanwhile whatever the T2 temperature, this man value we calculated maybe very low level, intermediate level. We calculated as a mathematically representation. Using of this, we are going to see in ANSYS. Okay, now first I'm going to create a 3-dimensional object. 3-dimensional point of view we are going to simulate. After that 1-dimensional point of view we are going to calculate. Now let's open. I am going to use modeling point of view, SolidWorks software. Now open the SolidWorks software, click it, new file. Okay, new part. I'm going to create a new part. It will take a half-minute time. Now open here, front plane, sketch. Now I'm going to create whatever the geometry you have. Change in meter, we required in meter only. with reference I'm going to take. Now open this problem. See the problem. This thickness is 0.25 meter. Next second layer thickness is 0.05. Third layer thickness is 0.03. The area is 1 meter square. Width and thickness I am going to take a 1 meter into 1 meter. 1 meter square only the area clearly given. Now as per this problem, create a geometry. Now first what is the thickness? Thickness is, where is the thickness? Thickness is 0.25 meter. Take a dimension. 0.25. What is the height? Height is 1 meter. That is width and thickness. Thickness is only 0.25 and the width and height is 1 meter into 1 meter. Now here I created thickness and length only. Now width I am going to generate with the 3-dimensional object. Okay. Now I am going to extrude this body. That means that is the width. I am going to give the width, that is 1 meter width. This is the first layer, that is inner layer. Inner layer, this thickness is 0.25 and width is 1 meter and height also 1 meter. As per this problem we created. Now save this file. Save this file. New folder, I am creating a new folder. Part 1. File name I created 1. Now second part, the same part, second part. What is the second part dimension? The second part dimension is 0.05 meter. Second or 0.05. I am changing here and save as the replace 0.05. 0.05. The area is same 1 meter square only, no? Now click it OK and finish. You got this. Now file save as part 2. Now next, what is the dimension of next? Next is 0.03 thickness. 0.03. Now once again change the dimension. 0.03. Okay. Finish. Area is same. Now take a file save as. Now 3 bodies I have. Now I am going to assemble in assembly mode. Select assembly. Select assembly. Now browse it. Now I have first part. And the next first part. Second part, insert the component, browse it. Second part, keep like this. Similarly, third part, keep like this. Now these 3 parts. Why? Because 3 different layers, no? We have 3 different layers. Now first layer, second layer and third layer. Now we are going to combine it, these 3 parts. Now this surface and this surface already joined. Next one is this face and this face. Okay. Next this face I'm mating exactly. Why? Because area is same, no, for all members. This face and this face. Okay. Now this face and this face. And the next one is this top layer and this top layer. Okay. and the next one is this. Now it's matches. Now it's over. Now I have 3 layers. These 3 layers, first layer, second layer, and third layer, for different material. Now my model is over as per the dimension of the problem. Now save as. I am going to convert here. Parasolid. Click it parasolid. What is this parasolid means? This is a translator. We are going to call as a translator. What is meant by translator means? Suppose SolidWorks is one software, ANSYS is another software. Same SolidWorks file we cannot open in ANSYS software. Why? Because this is a different software, that is different software. We must translate to one code to another code. For that purpose, we are going to convert as a parasolid. You can use this parasolid file. You can use any software. Suppose in CATIA, you want to open the CATIA, you convert. But problem is, it will convert as a unparametric model. It's not a parametric. Parametric model, whenever we require, we can change the dimension. But here, whenever you are going to convert as a parasolid, automatically it will convert as a unparametric model. But it's going to convert unparametric model and save it. Now it's converted unparametric model. Now you are going to open ANSYS software. Now open this ANSYS software and click here, type of simulation, whatever the first step, steady state thermal. Click it and drag it. Simple, nothing is there. Click it and drag it. It will take half minute time. Now, here we are going to create a material first step. Second step, it is geometry. Now, first step, double click. Now here default structural steel is there, but our material is different now. That's why we are going to create our own material. For that, create a first material. The material name I'm taking a 1, 2, 3. I have 3 different components now. 3 different material I have. Now first material, click it here. Left side I have isotropic thermal conductivity. Double click. Here is asking thermal conductivity. What is the thermal conductivity as per the problem? Now first thermal conductivity 8.5. Directly you can write it 8.5 watt per meter centigrade. Now next one is second material. What is thermal conductivity? Double click here. What is thermal conductivity second material? 0.25 watt per meter cube. Next third material. Double click isotropic material. What is the third material? 0.05. As for thermal simulation, we require thermal conductivity material property. Now we define. After defined properly, go to project. Now tick mark. You are getting a tick mark now. That means clearly we submitted material properties. Next one, geometry. Right click. Now we are going to upload or maybe import geometry. Open a new design modeler geometry. Now it will open one new screen, that is the geometry screen. It will take half a minute time. Now it's open. Once again, it's open. See here. Now it's open the geometry file. Now we are going to import. Already we created in SolidWorks. Now file, import external geometry file. Now where we created in new folder, we created, that is assembly 1. Double click. Now generate. Now we are importing. See, in SolidWorks software, we created a geometry. The geometry we imported to ANSYS software. Now 3 layers we have. Now in this 3 layer, after finalizing this 3 layer, now open the, see, geometry is taking tick mark. Now it's over your geometry. Next to model, double click. In model, we are going to apply boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions here? We are going to apply a inner layer temperature, outside convection. That is the convection temperature, convection coefficient we are going to apply. It will take half minute time. Now it's open. Now it's open. Now you are getting here. Now in this mode, we are going to apply a boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions? The first step is geometry. We are going to assign the first component. What is the material? Here structural steel we are taking. It's taking. We created one. No? Now second material point of view. Second only now we created a material. Second. Third material point of view, we are going to create third. Now whatever we assign, that we are going to assign for these 3 components. The material properties we assigned. After that, second step, mesh. Mesh means discretization. Mesh means dividing the number of elements. Now right click, generate mesh. Automatically, it will automatic mesh. I created automatic mesh. Is divided automatically all elements. After dividing of all elements, now we are going to give the boundary condition, input condition. Insert temperature. The first temperature in this layer, inner layer, no, you apply a temperature. Apply how much temperature? 600. Suppose units, you are going to change units in Kelvin. Automatically it will take Kelvin, but 600, sorry, degree centigrade only, no. 600 plus, let's check it out. What is the value? 600 plus 273, 873. The input value is 873 Kelvin. That is inner layer temperature input. Another input is convection. Let's insert, right click, insert convection. Now the convection is outer layer temperature on outer layer only, no. Now click outer layer, apply. What is the filling coefficient? 45. As per the input, 45 watt per meter. Here meter, be careful. Here you may to maintain units in meter. Automatically you will get here 45 watt per meter square Kelvin. Now what is the ambient temperature? 303. 303 Kelvin. 303 Kelvin. That is 30 degrees centigrade. This is the input. One is temperature inner layer, another temperature as the inner layer here, and convection as a outer layer. Whatever the convection, 45, 303 Kelvin. Okay, these are the input. After input, now we are going to solve the problem. That is the post processing. This is the solution. Now it's going to solve. After solving, we are going to get a post processing results. Now get a solution. Right click, insert thermal. Suppose temperature. I want to see the temperature throughout the body. Now another input, another output I required, heat flux also. I want these 2 variables. Now select, right click, solve. Now it's solving. Now it's solving all stiffness mattering and everything as a force equal to F equal to K into T, finite element equation. This is a 3-dimensional component. Some 1 minute extra time it will take to solve the problem. Now it's solved. The tick mark is coming. It's solved perfectly. There is no error. Nothing is there. In case any error is there, automatically you will get here in this screen. Now we are not getting any error. That means a perfectly input condition, geometry, everything is perfectly we assigned in this software. Now we are going to see the results. Click it temperature. Let's check it out the temperature. See the temperature, the maximum temperature, this color, red color, indicate 873 Kelvin. See the units also Kelvin. Here that input, we already given the input, no, 873 Kelvin. That input it's showing. Now, what about the temperature? We require, as per the problem statement, we required T2, T3, T4, no? Now I required in this zone, I required another this zone. This 3 zone, I required a temperature. Now let's calculate the temperature from where to where. Now you are going to see the animation also, how the temperature distributing from inner layer to outer layer. See the temperature distributing from inner layer to outer layer. We are going to see. And let's go to T2 temperature. That's why in first component I'm hiding. Now let's check it out. This temperature. Go to here. Probe, and probe option is there. Directly go to probe option, directly assign. Where is the convection? The first component we hide it, no? Second component. Why is not getting? Is the temperature on the probe. Label origin. Suppose you want to see the convection. So sorry, temperature. See the temperature. Now select the probe and select at the innermost layer. Select innermost layer. 846. Now check it out the answers. Open. See here T2 temperature 846 only, no? 846.24 Kelvin. Now let's check to 846.23. But numerical, this finite element method is the approximation method only, no? But compared to theoretical, very accurate approximation method. These are all approximation method, finite element method, finite difference method, finite computational method. These are all approximation method only. That's why I think there we are getting 846.34 something. What is the value? 24. Here we are getting 23. That is T2 temperature. Suppose you want T3 temperature here. Now second component also I am going to hide it. Now check it out, temperature. Now go to select a probe, select here inner layer. See here 664.3. Now check it out the theoretical value T3. See 664.31 Kelvin. Same Kelvin only, no? And the next one is T4 value. We are going to find out the T4 value, the outermost layer with the convection only, no? Now select this outermost layer. We are going to check it. Outermost layer 328. See 323. You are getting the results, accurate results. Or whenever you are going to select using a probe, automatically you will get here results also. Here also you will get a minimum value. What is the value? What is the maximum value? Maximum value 873 Kelvin. Minimum value 323.21 as per the input parameters, or for the material as per the area of the geometry. That means finally Q is directly proportional to change in temperature. Q is inversely proportional to thickness of the member. If you are going to change the thickness, if you are going to change the thickness here, automatically the value is going to change. Okay, this is the simple thermal analysis using a ANSYS software. You can do any type of simulation. Like a so here I consider convection. If you are going to remove a convection, it will consider as a conduction only. These 3 blocks are the 3 blocks a solid molecule. Through solid molecule, it's going to transfer automatically. Whatever the temperature you is going to absorb, remaining temperature outside you are going to get. Suppose I am going to remove the convection. Let's remove the convection. Now automatically first see this temperature 873 to 881 like this you are getting. Now I am removing convection. Now conduction only. Now present conduction only. Now solution right click solve. Now I consider only for conduction. The outermost layer I didn't consider any convection. The outermost layer temperature. Now let's check it out. It's no. You are not getting any type of heat, but heat transfer rate it's going to vary. Or maybe if you are going to take a convection, all directions. Direction means first component and the second component. First components also convection is there. Let us assume first component convection is there. Let us assume first component convection is, suppose apply, sorry, first component, what is the temperature? Suppose filling coefficient maybe another 25 watt per meter square. Some air is moving as per 303 Kelvin. And the next outside, here also outside layer also convection is there. Now take that is 45 303 atmospheric air. Now solve. Automatically the values is going to change. Now left side and right side both convection, we consider the both convection. Now check temperature. See the temperature. At final the value, some small variation is there. Before 853 something, now 873 you are getting. This layer temperature also a small variation is there. Why? Because we consider here convection also. Maybe you are going to consider here in top and bottom. In top and bottom. Mainly if you are going to the CPU inside. CPU inside and component, if the fan is rotating now in this that layer, both all directions convection is going on. Like these simple examples we are going to consider. Yes. Any questions? I'm going to mute off. After that, we can ask the questions. 1 minute. 1 minute. Any question for this? Yes, that is conduction only. Default you will get a conduction only in your ANSYS software. Directly, defaultly, automatically it will consider as a conduction. Suppose you want to give any radiation as a conduction, it will be defined as the input parameters. After that, it will take a conduction. Maybe done. Dhanun Jain is asking question. Yes, in radiation, I didn't consider here radiation, but next class I will consider the radiation. By radiation point of view, you must know the emissivity value. As per the emissivity value, you can give the input condition, get a output value. Next class, tomorrow class, I will show the radiation also. While fluid analysis also, we are going to Hello. Yes, another question. Type of element also, you can change the type of element as per the problem is 3-dimensional element point of the hexahedral element or tetrahedral element, two main elements. You can select hexahedral elements is mostly suitable for irregular geometry. Tetrahedral elements only any smooth planar shape point of view you can use. Both elements also you can use, but problem is that the tetrahedral elements number of nodes, number of degree of freedom is more compared to hexahedral element. That's why a very plain surface of geometries you can use very useful. That is very user friendly. Tetrahedral element. If hexahedral element irregular geometry, it's very suitable. In ANSYS software I'm discussing. If you are other software like a hypermesh you can use only for hexahedral element. Any type of problem, any irregular geometry, very critical geometry point of view also. Mainly for degree of freedom, depends upon the degree, number of degree of freedom increases, automatically you will get a number of equations. Number of equation means number of problems, number of equations. After number of equation unknown values, you are going to get number of unknown values. Using unknown values, you are going to find out the output variable. All output value, whenever you are going to add it, final accurate value you will get. But the number of degree of freedom, 10 degree of freedom, 10 equations. With 10 equations, 10 values you will get. The 10 values you are going to add it, you will get an accurate value. If you are using a normal 2-dimensional problem, a square element only. Each node only 2 degree of freedom. Totally 6 into 4, 4 into 4, only 16. 16 degree of freedom possible 2 dimensional. If I take a 1-dimensional having a line element having 2 nodes. Each node only 1 degree of freedom. 2 nodes we have 2 degree of freedom. 2 equations only you will get. 2 equations easily you are going to solve. 2 algebraic equation you are going to convert as a matrix form. Using a matrix form, input variable you are going to apply, output value easy you can find out. Compared to 1-dimension, 3-dimension, very accurate result you will get. That is the difference. Nothing is there. Any questions? Next. Next, any questions? And another one question they ask. Yes, in 1-dimensional point of view, we didn't discuss simulation. In 1-dimensional point of view, we are going to apply only for conduction, but not possible for convection and radiation. Why? Because convection is not, we are not going to consider only one direction. The convection may be 2 direction, 3 direction also possibility is there. The air is moving in all directions. We must be consider whenever you are going to simulate a convection and a radiation problem, must be considered 3-dimensional object only. You will get an accurate value. But conduction you can do 1-dimensional easily. You can give 1-dimension as a line element. As a line element, once first node you are going to apply a temperature 600 degrees centigrade. At the 4th node you are going to apply a atmospheric condition up to 600 to 30 degrees. How the temperature distributing along the line element. You can identify very easily the temperature only for conduction. That we will see tomorrow. We will see conduction one problem, 1-dimensional, and fluid problem. Any questions? So thank you for participating. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we will see the fluid analysis. Meanwhile, 1-dimensional heat transfer rate problem. Thank you. Thank you very much.